Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here to reorganize some of my singles and I have quite a few palettes right here and today we're going to tackle my Clionadh singles. So I have, I think I have about 200 Clionadh singles. I'm going to only tackle the square ones today or the rectangular ones because that's what I'm going to keep in these palettes. And I just want to reorganize them because I had them organized but then I put some into BYOPs. I have purchased some more and I feel like they're getting a bit out of order right now. And currently I have them organized by category. So here you can see some of my iridescents, pearlescents, stuff like that. But I also, as you can see, you saw an overflow now, which is what is kind of out of order. But otherwise this is my iridescents, but they have some Clionadh singles there at the bottom. And then, you know, here we have some jewel multichromes, jewel lights, so on. So currently organized by formula, but I do want to kind of switch that up in this video. I want to just have something new to look at, and I decided to organize them alphabetically. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to jump into the video and start pulling all these singles out. But before I do that, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. And these right here in this quad is from a palette, and that is not that's not Clionadh singles, so those are done too. So that's everything from my kind of BYOP palettes, but I do have these big palettes too to pull out from. So we're gonna go ahead and do that next. So that's another palette done. And again, in here, I have other shades. I might tackle these later on, but for now I'm going to leave this palette as is. But I think I need some space on this later on, so I'm going to have to figure out what to do with these shades. That is the next palette done. Then let's tackle the last palette. Alright, and that is the last palette finished. So I just brought out the rag so I can clean off the palettes. Let me see if I can fit this one in frame. So I can start building the palettes. Okay, I think there you go. That's in frame. So I'm just going to clean this quickly out. Just a quick little clean because I rarely have these palettes empty. Something like that. And then we're going to start kind of pulling shades. And I have already made spreadsheets behind the camera. In front of the camera I do have a spreadsheet with all of my shades in like name order. So I will just hopefully be able to find the shades here. I'm pretty good at knowing my Clionadh shades by like shade and name. So I'm hoping that I can pull some in. And if I'm struggling, that will be another issue if we get to there. But I'm going to start by pulling in. And the first shade we have is Separation, which I think is this shade here. It is. So that's going to be the first shade in this alphabetical order. We have Adornment next. And I believe Adornment is this shade. It's like a light pink. It is. So that's the next shade. Then we have Alloy. And I believe Alloy is one of the newer shades. So I am not sure 100% which one that is. This one here, yeah, I knew it was one of the newer shades. It's this shade right here. The next shade is Amalgam, and I actually had to pull up a picture of this one because I am not 100% sure which one that is. Because again, it's one of the newer ones, but I think it might be this one. No, that's R8. Is it this shade maybe? Synthesis. Masonry, Electron. Here, we have amalgam right here. So that's the next shade. Then we have Ambient, which is one of their iridescent shades, and I believe it's series 1, so it would be one of the more satiny ones, I think. So let me have a look through them. The iridescent ones are definitely going to be the most difficult ones, because obviously there is a lot of just white looking ones, so I'm going to probably have to look through them quite a lot. Here we go, that is Ambient right there. Then we have a Neo, which is one of the jewel multichromes. It's one of the blue-green ones, and I think it might be this one. No, that's Oculus. It's the one that is slightly more kind of bluish, so maybe this one. No, that's Crown Glass. Actually, I think it's more green leaning. Maybe it's this one then. Yes, Neo is right there. Then we have Aura, which is one of the iridescents again, and I know that one is a bit reddish, I think. That's Ray. Oh, yeah, I think it's one of the more kind of pinkish, reddish, maybe orangey slightly. That's Halo. Here we go, that's Aura. Then we have R8, which I know I pulled up earlier. I believe it's one of the new ones. It's not that one, it is this one, right? Yeah, R8 is right there. It's a beautiful shade. Then we have Auric, which is one of the deep iridescent shades, and I believe this one might be Saffron. Yeah, that's Saffron. There we go, that's Auric. We have a Soar next, which is another deep iridescent. It's like a bluish type of shade. There we go, that's a Soar. We have Baroness next, which I think is one of the new ones. Yep, it's this one right here. Then we have Baroque, which is one of the pearlescents. I'm not 100% sure which shade that is out of the ones though. But it's one of the, again, pearlescent multichromes. Here we have Baroque. Then we have Bloodline. And Bloodline is a favorite. It is this shade right here. I will spot that anywhere, so that is Bloodline. That is the second row complete. Then we have Brilliance, which is one of the new multichromes, iridescent multichromes. It is this shade here. It's like a bluish leaning shade. Then we have Bronze Fountain, which might be this shade. Yeah, it is. That's the next one. Then we have Burnish, which is one of the deep jewel multichromes again. Yeah, it's this one right here. And then we have Burnish Light to follow that, which is this shade there. Then we have Burnt Sienna, which is one of the deep iridescents, and I can see that right there. Followed by Candela, which is another iridescent shade. Question is which one? I think it's one of the more yellowy leaning ones. Yeah, it's that one there. Then we have Carving, and Carving is it this one? Yeah, that is one of the glitter multichromes. Then we have Castle, which is another of the deep kind of jeweled multichromes, and it's like a tealish blue. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, shade there. Then we have Catalyst, which is one of the dimensionals. So it's one of these kind of deeper ones. And these, I'm going to be honest, I don't know which one of these it would be. Maybe this one? Yeah, Catalyst right there. So my camera needed a break, so if the angle has changed, that is why. Next up we have Cathedral, which is one of the, what are they called? Pastel multichromes, I think. And it might be this one. Yeah. We're moving on to Celadon next, which is one of the deep iridescents. Oh, sorry, yeah, deep iridescents. It's like a bluish shade, I believe. Actually, my bad, I looked it up again, and Celadon is not one of those. It's actually one of the glitter multichromes. I was mixing up the shades. Yeah, it's this one here. It's one of my new ones, which is why I didn't know it. Then we have Cerise, which is one of the deep iridescents for sure. And I'm struggling to find that one. It's like a plumish type of color, but I just cannot seem to find it. I keep looking at the same ones. There we go. That is Cerise. Then we have Cerulean, which is a blue, I believe it's this one. Yep, that is that shade. We have Chalice next, which is a beautiful green, and that is one of the hybrid multichromes. Maybe it's this one? No, oh, actually no, it's not a green, it's a golden one. I think it's this one. No, that's foiling. But it's on the veins of that, so maybe this shade here. Yeah, Chalice is right there. Then we have Chandelier, which is one of the glitter multichromes. It's quite a lightish multichrome though. It's on the same vibe as Carving, but I know it's slightly lighter than that, so let me find it. It is this one right here. Moving on, we have Chromatic, which is one of the iridescents again. I believe this one is a bit more of an orangey one. Yeah, it's that shade. Then we have Sia, which is a blue, and I believe it's this one. Next up we have Cinder, which is a pink, and it might be this one. No, is it this one maybe then? No, I think it's a pink at least. That one there. I knew it was a pink. We have Citron, which is another deep iridescent, and this one is a bit kind of greenish leaning. There we go. Then we have Climbing Vine, which I had to look up again. I think it might be this shade. Yeah, it is. It's like a bluish kind of shade, and it's one of the Earth Vibrant multichromes. Then we have Coat of Arms, which is one of the, this one here. It's one of the dimensional multichrome. No, sorry, not dimensional. Hybrid multichromes. Next up we have Clionadh Cobblestone, which I think is like a pinkish type of shade, like a bit more neutral type of pink. Question is just which one it is. Yeah, it's this one here, which is one of the Earth Vibrants again. Then we have Coronation, which I think is a purple, I'm thinking. Or is it pink? It might be this one. Nope. There we go. Coronation is right there. It's one of the Vibrant multichromes. Then next up we have Corrosion, which is one of my favorites. It is this shade right here. So that can go in next. Then we have Court Jester, which I think I grabbed earlier, didn't I? Yeah, Court Jester is right there. Then we have Clionadh Courtyard, which is a really vibrant green. I'm pretty sure it's this shade right there. Nope, Topiary. It's a similar type of shade though. Yeah, it's this one, which is even brighter. This is Courtyard. Then we have Crown Glass, which is one of the jewel multichromes. Question is which one. I think it's similar to Oculus. It's this one here. It's a bit more kind of bluish purple than Oculus, but it's similar. Then we have Crown Jewel, which I'm pretty sure is this shade here. Yep, it's a super vibrant blue. We have Diadem next, which I think is another blue actually. It might be this one. Yeah, that is another blue. Then we have Dias, which is one of the new shades, and I think it might be this one. Yeah, it is. Super nice vibrant shade. Then we have Duchess, which I think is another green. It's one of the vibrant glitter multichromes, I believe. Yeah, it's this one here. So it's the glitter vibrant multichrome. Yeah. Then we have Duke, which is another green. Is it this one? Yeah, it is this shade here. Then we have Dynasty, which I think is a purple. Might be this one. Nope. Yeah, it's this shade here. It's getting easier the fewer shades I have to look at. Electron is next, which I think is this shade. Yeah. Then we have Embellishment, which is this shade, I believe. Yeah. Then we have Emblem, which I'm not sure about, so let me look up a picture of Emblem. Okay, so it's like a bluish, tealish base, I think, with a purple shift. And it's one of the electric multichromes. Is it this one maybe? Yeah, that's Emblem. Then we have Emboss, which is one of the glitter multichrome. There we go, that is Emboss. Then we have Embroidery, which is one of the hybrid multichromes, and it's a green one. I think it's this shade here. Yeah, it is. Then we have Empress, which I'm not 100% sure. I think it might be like a peachy kind of shade. Yeah, it's this shade here. It's like a peachy pink. Then we have Enamel, which is a purple. It's not this one. It's not that one. Actually, is it this one? No. Is it this one? That is it. Yeah, enamel. Then we have Engrave, which I think is this one. It is. Next up we have Entropy, which is one of the newer shades for me, and I think it might be, no, it's not that one. Is it this one? Yes, it's this shade right here, so that is Entropy, and that completes the first palette. The next shade we have is Estate to start off this palette, and that is like a more neutral type of shade, I think. Yeah, it's this one right there, so that is the first shade for the second palette. Then we have Etched, which I know is a purple. It's quite a bright purple. Maybe it's this one. Nope. Is it this one? Yeah, it's that shade. Then we have Exothermic, which is one of the newer shades. I think it's this one right here. Yes, it is. Then we have Ferric, which I believe is this shade. No, that's Furnish. It might be this one then. No, it's one of the dimensional ones. Yeah, it's this one. Next up is Flagstone, which I think is this teal. No, that's Heirloom, but I think it's similar to that. Yeah, it's this shade there. Then we have Flame Blown, which is one of the jeweled multichromes. It's this one there, it's a purple. Then we have Flame Blown Light, which will be obviously like a light type of purple. And again, it's one of the jeweled lights. Maybe it's this one here. Yeah, Flame Blown Light. Then we have Flare, which is another iridescent shade. I have no idea which one that is though. I'm not sure if my camera was filming, but I couldn't find Flare, and I actually was wrong. Flare was one of the glitter multichromes, which I should have known, but I blanked on that shade. Next up we have is Flashed Glass, which I'm currently looking for. I think it's a purple, if I remember correctly. I keep looking at this shade, but I think it's similar to that shade. Yeah, it's that one. So it's a little bit more vibrant than that shade, but yeah, that is it. Then we have Flicker, which is 100% iridescent shade. I think it's like an orangey one. Yeah, that shade right there. Then we have Fluoresce, which is another iridescent shade. There we go. It's that shade right there. Then we have Foiling, which I know is a bronzy shade. It's this one, I believe. Yeah, that's Foiling. We have Forge, which is one of the jeweled multichromes, and I think it's this shade. Yep. And then we should have that followed by Forge Light. And which one is Forge Light? So I don't know if you caught it, but I found Gargoyle and I have Gargoyle Light next to it. And next shade we're looking for is Gilding, which is one of the glitter type iridescent shades. And I know it's a yellowish type of shade. This one maybe? No. I think that's Luxe. It's quite a chunky shade, so I should be able to spot it. Oh, there we go. That should be Gilding. Yep, it is. Then we have Glare, which is another iridescent. Then we have Glare. Then we have Glazed, which is glitter multichrome. It's like a pale purple. This one maybe. No, that's Tracery. It's even paler than that. This one. Yeah, Glazed. Then we have Glacier's Mark, which is this one. And then Gleam, which is another iridescent shade. Should start memorizing where all of these are. Oh, Gleam, this one right here. Then we have Glimmer, which is... No, that is Glisten. UV. It's another iridescent. Glimmer. Then we have Glint, which should be this one. Yeah. And a lot of iridescent coming up now, and I'll have a lot of them start with G. Then we have Glisten, which was this one. Yeah. And then Gloaming, which is another iridescent. It's this shade. And then Glow, which is this one. No, that's UV. This one, right? Yeah, Glow. And then we have Goblets. We're not having an iridescent next. We have, I can't remember which range this is from, but it's super fun and vibrant. It's this one here. The electric ones, maybe? Yeah, it's an electric multichrome. Then we have Gothic, which is this one here. It's jewel multichrome. We have Grisaille, which should be this one. It's a glitter multichrome. Then we have Halo. So we're moving on to H, but we have more iridescents coming up. Halo is this one. Then we have Happy Accident, which is, I think, this shade. Yeah, that is free to purchase, so it's not part of any range. Next up is Hedge Maze, which I'm not sure what that one looks like. Maybe it's this shade? Yeah, it is. And then we have Eris. And I honestly can't remember what Eris looks like. I think it's a hybrid multichrome, but I can't seem to find it. Oh, there we go. It is. It's that shade there. Then we have Heirloom, which was that this shade? Yeah. We have Hilt, which is a blue. It's that shade. Then we have Illumination, which is another iridescent shade. You just need to find the right one. Alright, so my camera needed a break again, so I kind of zoomed in a little bit because I have less shades now, but Illumination is this shade here. So it's one of the iridescents that has a slight bit of a base to it. Then we have Ion, which is one of the dimensionals. I think it's this shade, not as oxidized. Is it the purple one then, maybe? Yeah, it's that one. Then next up is Iron Gate, which, I don't know, is that shade maybe? Yeah, it is. We have Kaleidoscope, which is a pink. I think it's this pink. Yeah. And then Keystone, which I think is a green. Maybe this shade. No. Yeah, that shade. Then we have Kiln, which is one of the jeweled multichromes. It's this shade. And then Kiln Light, which is one of the deep, what's it called, jewel light multichromes. And we have that there. Then is King's Feast. I know that's one of the hybrid multichromes. Is it this one maybe? Yeah. Then is Lapis Lazuli, which is one of the deep iridescents. Is that shade. Then we have Light Fast, which is another iridescent shade. That's one of the new ones. And I think it's this one right here. No. This one right here. Next up is Line of Queens, and that is this shade. Then we have Lineage, which is like a tealish shade. Is it this one? No. This one. Yeah. We have Lucidium next, which is another iridescent shade. It's this one here. It's also relatively new. Then we have Luminaire, which is another iridescent. So we found Medieval, it's right there. And next up we have Monarch, which is this shade there. It's a really bright, beautiful shade. And then lastly for this palette we have Mosaic, which is another one of the hybrid, I think. I need to just find it. I think it's one of the hybrids. Yeah, it is. It's this one right there. So that is the second palette all done. So first up for the next palette is the shade Motif, which I think is a green or a blue. The question is just which shade here it is. There we go, it's that shade. Then we have the classic Mural, which is a really, really beautiful shade. I believe it's this shade. It's a fan favorite. Then another fan favorite is the shade Yellow, which is next, which I think is this shade. Yeah, it is. Then we have Noble, which is a purple. I believe it's this shade. It is. Then we have Ochre, which is a yellow shade. I think it's this shade right here. Yeah, it's one of the deep iridescents. Then we have Oculus and Oculus Light, and I believe this one was Oculus, right? Yeah, and then Oculus Light should be this shade, I think. Yeah, it is. Perfect. Moving on, we have the shade Opulent, which is another one of a fan favorite and also one of my favorite shades, and it's right there. You just have to find it. That's Opulent. Then we have Orchard, which I think is this shade. Yep. We have Oriole next, which is this bright pink. Yeah, it is right there. Then we have Ornamental, which I think is this shade. It is. We have Oxidize, which I think that's this one, right? Yeah, Oxidize right there. Then we have Palace, which is one of my favorite shades. I think it is that shade, exactly. We are moving on to Patina and then Patina Light. Which are two green shades, and I think it might be this one. No, that's Trefoil. Is it this shade maybe then? Yeah, that is Patina. And then we have Patina Light, which I think is this shade. Yeah, it is. Next up is Phosphorescent, which is an iridescent shade. And is it this shade here? No, that's Rebectans. It's this shade here. We have Queen's Banquet next, which is another hybrid, I believe. It's this shade. And then moving on to Quest, which I think is a purple shade. Is it this one? No. So maybe one of these two over here. That's Quest. Perfect. Then we have Radiance, which is another iridescent shade. It's that shade right there. And then we have Ray, which is the red iridescent. I think it's this shade. It is. And then we have Reorganising, which I think is a purple again. Don't know which purple though. Yeah, it's that shade right there. Next up we have Redox, which might be this one. It is. Then we have Reflectance, which was one of the iridescents again. It's this shade right there. Moving on to Regal next, which is a purple again. I think it might be Nana's Royalty. This one then. Yeah, Regal. Then we have Rain, which I don't know exactly which shade that is. It's that shade right there. Moving on to Renaissance. I think that is this shade. It is, I think. Yeah, Renaissance. And then we have Ripple, which is this shade. Moving on, we have Rosarium, which is a reddish shade. It is it this one? Yeah, it is. Then we have Roseline, which I think is that shade. And then we have two kind of jeweled multichromes again, jeweled lights. We have Rosette and Rosette Light. So Rosette is purple. It's this one right here. And then Rosette Light might be this one. Then we have Royal Peach and Royal Pear. I think this is Royal Pear. Yeah, that is Royal Pear. And then we just need to find Royal Peach, which is this shade here. And then lastly, for those type of shade, we have Royal Plum as well, which is, I think, obviously a purplish shade, but I have no idea which one that is. It's that shade there. Then we have one of my favorite shades, which is Royalty. It's this one right there. Then we have Saffron, which is this shade. Then we have Sandblast and Sandblast Light. I think this one is Sandblast. Yep. And Sandblast Light should be this shade. And it is. Then we have Scepter, which is the last of the pearlescents. And that's this shade here. Then we have Scroll, which I think is this shade. It's one of the newer ones. It is. We have Sculpture next, which I have gone over a couple times. It's this shade here. Then we have Shard, which I think is this shade. Yeah, it is. Moving on to the next one, we have Signet, which yeah, it's this one. I knew it was a pink, and it's not that many pinks left. Then we have Smolder and Smolder Light, and I think that is this shade exactly, and then this shade. Then we have Solder, which I think is this shade. It is. It's very similar to Smolder, actually. It goes well with that kind of row. Then we have Spectrum. And Spectrum, I think, is another iridescent, if I don't remember incorrectly. It is. It's this shade there. Then we have Spire and Spire Light. So yeah, here we have Spire. And then Spire Light, I believe, is this shade. It is. Yeah, so that's Spire Light. Then we have a Spotlight, which is a pink. So it's this shade here. We have Starcut, which is an iridescent. I believe it's this shade. It is. So that is the next shade. Then we have Statue Garden, which I know is this shade. We have Stencil, which is another purple. Is it this shade? Yeah, it is. Then we have Sterling, which I'm pretty sure is this shade. We have Sunbeam and Sunbeam New. So I have Sunbeam in two formulas. I have the original Sunbeam, which I believe is this one. Yeah, that is the original Sunbeam. But then since I love that shade so much, I actually bought the reformulated one, which they made recently, and it's this one right there. So I do have both of those formulas. So that is this palette done as well. And here you have the overview of the third palette. So then we have the final palette right here, which I need to figure out what to do with. I think what I'm going to do for now is just take out these iridescent shades, because then the other shades can fit on top, and I'm just going to have to figure out where I want to put these iridescent shades later on, like in what palette, because they might be able to fit here at the bottom, but yeah, I'm not sure yet what I want to do with these, but let me just remove all of these. Alright, so that will work for now. So the next shade that we're working on is Synthesis, which is another shade. I'm not 100% sure which shade that is. It might be this new one. It is, yeah, perfect. Synthesis is right there. Then we're moving on to tea, and we have Tapestry first, which again, I'm not 100% sure. That's Topiary. Not sure which one this is. Trefoil, Trefoil Light. Something saying it's a green, but I am not sure. Turret. It's this one here, so it's a blue, not a green. Then we have Tarnish, which is this shade, it's a green. Then we have Tessera, which I know is a vibrant blue, it's this shade, I believe it is. Then we have Throne, which is the bright, kind of true yellow in the collection. We have Topiary next, which I have gone over a couple times too, it's this bright green right there. Then we have Torch, which is one of my favorite kind of glitter multichromes. Again, it's this pink right here. We have Tower next, which I think is this shade. It is. Then we have Tracery, which is a purple. It's that shade. We have Translucency, which I think is this pink. It is. Then we have another duo again. We have Trefoil and Trefoil Light. We have Trefoil here. And then there is the light version, I believe. Moving on next, we have Trinket, which is this orange shade. We have Turret, which I think is this. Yeah, it is. Then we have two iridescents left. We have Umbra and UV. We have Vault, which is this shade. No, Vault is... Which one is Vault? This one, right? Yeah, Vault is right there. We have Vermeil, which I think is this shade. We have Vermilion, which is one of my absolute favorite ones. It's this one right there. And then we have Verte, which is another deep iridescent. Vermilion is also deep iridescent. Then we have the shade Vineyard, which is this newer shade here. We have Viridian, which... Ooh, I'm not sure. This one? No, Wall of Ivy. This one then? Yeah, Viridian is this one here. Then we have Wall of Ivy, which was this one. We have Weathered right here. And then we have Weld. And I have just realized an issue. I don't have Happy Accident 2 in my spreadsheet, which means that this one should have been next to the other Happy Accident, which is really unfortunate because that means I have to shift all of those shadows, but I think I'll do that off camera because I've already been filming this video for too long. But I think I'm going to put that one in there, and then that is the last palette. So again, I think I'm going to probably move some of this. I might keep the rest of the Clionadh shades in here because that is the last ones I have, but they're different shapes and everything, so I'm going to keep them at the bottom right here. But yeah, that is the final palette. So let me pull them all out. So there you have the palettes. We're going from A all the way through to here, and then here and here. And again, I'm gonna have to figure out where this one goes. I think, unfortunately, it's somewhere in this palette. I think this one might be Happy Accident. So quite a long way to backlog on myself, but I'm sure I can do it. But again, I'm going to do that off camera just because I don't want to rearrange this again. And it's funny because I thought when I put that Happy Accident in, I was like, oh, I thought I had Happy Accident too. And I do, but I just didn't have it in my spreadsheet. So that is silly on me. I should have double checked. But yeah, I'm happy with this reorganization. It's kind of goes with this whole stained glass vibe that Clionadh has. So I'm excited to play around with these, and hopefully this will be giving me some more inspiration when it comes to my Clionadh palettes. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap up the video here because I know that I've been filming for absolutely ages. And I hope you guys are having an amazing day wherever you are, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys!